Welcome back to the beginning after the end, anime versus manhwa. This episode had many anime original scenes, which was not in the manhwa, and I didn't read the light novel, so they might be adapting from the original source material. The anime introduces the Twin Horns Adventurer party earlier, providing more context to their relationship with Arthur's parents. The manhwa unfolds this introduction more gradually. Some fans feel the anime's pacing differs, affecting character development. Both versions offer unique experiences. Which portrayal resonated more with you? Share your thoughts below. More importantly, this episode had some interesting anime original scenes. Most of the combat in this section, particularly Adam's and Jasmine's fights, is not included in the anime. Thanks for watching, and what is your thought on the mid after the end?
ごめん、あまない。俺は今、お前のために怒ってない。誰も憎んじゃいない。今はただただ、この世界が心地いい。
Welcome back to another aura analysis. The beginning after the end episode 3, anime versus manhwa. They skipped chapter 12 from the manhwa. In the anime, it looked like Arthur fell into Sylvia's cave. But in the manhwa, Arthur followed Sylvia's voice and traveled through the forest a bit, guided by her voice before he found her in the cave. Sylvia's design is different in the anime. In the web novel, she was described as a monster, over 10 meters high, with petrifying red eyes and 2 massive horns protruded out the sides of its head, arched down and around its skull with body adorned in a sleek black armor. So which one is the better adaptation, anime or manhwa? The anime rearranged some of the scenes from the manhwa and added some fight scenes for Sylvia, which was not in the manhwa. And that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome back to another aura analysis. The Beginning After the End, Episode 4, Anime vs. Manhwa. The manhwa has more frames is not a meme anymore, so I tried comparing the two. And here's what I found in the manhwa.
Huh? 子供?
一人目。
これはいただくよ。
What do you think? Was my manhwa animation better? Arthur frees the deer wolves, or whatever those things are. But in the anime, that scene is completely changed into Tessia. Also, in the anime, Art literally shit himself after eating some mushrooms. But in the manhwa, he does it to fake being fine and to hide the pain from Tessia. And that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome back to another aura analysis. The Beginning After the End, Season 1, Episode 5. I didn't include the last episode's post-credit scene because of potential spoilers. They changed this part to make it look like Tessia is betraying Art, but in the manhwa, she was defending him from the start. Most of Tessia and Art's interactions have been changed from the manhwa. As always, ACAT Studio is showing us their slideshow presentation during the fight scenes. And that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome back to another Aura analysis, The Beginning After the End, Episode 6. I prefer the manhwa art style on this part. In the anime, his parents doesn't look like that sad or in grief over their son's death or disappearance. And they cut out the part where his mom tried to disconnect herself. This part reminded me of this meme. Here it's looked like Arthur is trying some Germany mustache man emote, and he is teaching it to Tessia. I prefer the Manhwa font here. And that's it. Don't forget to subscribe. Welcome back to another aura analysis, The Beginning After the End, Episode 7. Some of the scenes are different to compare it with the manhwa, so I tried to find the closest panels for those scenes. I prefer the manhwa character acting than the anime. Welcome back to another aura analysis, The Beginning After the End, Episode 8. The last episode gave me some hope that the animation would improve and that they would animate Arthur and his dad's fight well. Unfortunately, it's still a PowerPoint presentation. I didn't include the last part of the episode because they skipped so much content. I want to wait for the next episode to see if they include it. Welcome back to another aura analysis, the beginning after the end, episode 9. In this aura analysis, I'm going to be yapping a lot more than usual because they changed and rearranged several scenes and parts in this episode. I didn't read the web novel, so let me know if it was like this in the web novel. This part was changed. In the anime, Arthur followed Liliana to the shop, and they were harassed by academy students while the shopkeeper stood by, too scared to intervene. In the manhwa, however, Arthur went to the shop on his own to check out some items. The shopkeeper mistook him for a lost child and tried to kick him out. Arthur dismissed him and attempted to leave, but the shopkeeper tried to flex on him by asking which noble house raised him. That's when both MILFs arrived, showcased their higher status, and completely aura-farmed the shopkeeper. Here's another part that was changed from the manhwa. Originally, Arthur first visited Liliana's dad to negotiate a deal. He asked him to acquire a few items through the auction house, like a protective cloak, a sword his size, and a voice-altering mask. In exchange, Arthur offered to help awaken Liliana's core. But in the anime, this was replaced with a just a prank bro moment where Arthur pretends Liliana went off somewhere without telling her parents, giving them a full-on heart attack instead of having a serious negotiation. Welcome back to another aura analysis, the beginning after the end, episode 10. This video is going to be a bit different from the usual side-by-side aura analysis because so many scenes were skipped or rearranged. First off, remember the Twin Horns party? They showed up in an earlier episode and then just vanished from the anime like they were never there. But in the manhwa, they return during the auction and immediately join Arthur's dad's security team to assist. Next, in the anime, Arthur and his mom have a conversation about how broke they are and how they can't afford anything at the auction. But in the manhwa, Vincent actually offers to buy Arthur anything he wants as part of their deal. Although by the end of the episode, we didn't even see what Arthur picked. Don't worry, I'll get to that later. Now for one of my favorite moments. Arthur notices that the hot dami mommy MILF queen of the kingdom is a conjurer because she's carrying a wand. He then goes on to explain why he is attracted to little girls. I mean, not attracted to older women like her, despite the queen being the hottest character in TBATE. Don't argue. According to Arthur, all the women around him remind him of his mom, which is weird, considering he's technically the same age as them, if not older, when you count his past and current life combined. Another change. In the anime, when Arthur unleashes his conqueror's hockey moment, his dad gets blamed for it. But in the manhwa, his dad and the security team immediately start searching the area and end up catching someone trying to break into the auction house. That one change shifts the whole narrative, because Arthur's dad is blamed in the anime, the king tries to punish him, and that's when Sebastian seizes the chance to ask for Sylvie. In the manhwa, though, it's totally different. The king wants to reward Sebastian for his years of royal service and decides that Arthur should give up his mana beast as a gift. That leads to some tense back and forth between Arthur and the king. Here too, again, since Arthur's dad wasn't blamed in the attack and the whole exchange went differently. Finally, the last part of the episode cut some content that may be considered spoilers. I'll try to keep it spoiler-free. Let's just say, after the auction, Arthur gets the mask he requested, and when his dad gives him the money, he mentions why Arthur needs it more than he does. I'll wait for the next episode to see how they handle that before diving into more cut content. Welcome back to another Aura analysis, the beginning after the end episode 11. I've been waiting for the director and Arthur's fight to get animated and... Okay, let's begin with the changes that happened before this fight, starting with his fight against his dad and Arthur using water magic. Even ACAT broke the story's consistency just to show off some mid-tier CGI water animation, which was supposed to be a secret. Now the fight with the director went pretty much the same in the anime, except ACAT cut out some of the more action-heavy parts. But in the manhwa, the whole fight didn't take place in some random forest. It actually happened in Vincent's backyard. The director came herself because Vincent makes sizable donations to her school. After their fight, the director wasn't that impressed, until Vincent mentioned that Arthur had only used fire and lightning magic against his father, but now he was using wind magic. When the director heard that, she was shocked. Arthur then added that he could actually use 4 elements, which made the director even more excited to have him join her academy. That gave Arthur some leverage to negotiate when he could join, and to ask for protection for his family, thanks to his rare affinity with all 4 elements. During this part in the manhwa, Arthur's mom was both mad and sad when he told them he'd be adventuring instead of going to school. Also, unlike in the anime where his dad suggested it, it was actually Arthur who came up with the idea of adventuring with some guards to keep him safe. Welcome back to another Aura analysis, the beginning after the end episode 12, the season 1 finale. the exam fight scenes were changed, and some parts were cut out. For example, the fight between Lucas and the female examiner ended differently in the manhwa. In the anime, Lucas overcharged his fire spell, lost control, and ended up losing. But in the manhwa, he used his spell without losing control and was still defeated by the examiner. After his defeat, he lashed out and tried to attack her, and unlike in the anime, where Arthur stepped in to defend her, in the manhwa, another instructor interfered and stopped him. The fight between the AA rank guy and Arthur was massively nerfed. If you're anime only, I highly recommend checking out the manhwa version of the fight, chapters 51 to 52. Narrating it with AI and showing a few panels wouldn't do it justice and would undercut the intensity. In the manhwa, unlike the anime where Arthur explains the fight through a flashback, we actually see the full battle unfold in real time. Both fighters are pushed to their limits. The AA rank guy uses wind magic while Arthur sticks to fire magic, which makes the action clearer. Who's attacking? Who's defending? The anime just gave us looped sword clashes with shaky cam and fire effects. By the end of the fight, Arthur was gaining the upper hand. The A rank guy was on the verge of crashing out, and Arthur was close to going all out, until the A rank abruptly ended the match, clearly overwhelmed by the pressure. When Arthur and Jasmine went on their adventure, Sylvie went off on her own journey, and she doesn't return for years. They might address that in a later season, hopefully. Also, the CG boar creature fight was anime original content. Lastly, they completely cut out the bird's huge foreshadowing scene from the anime. Let's end this season on a better note, with the famous quote, "If TBATE could have a second season, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Never give up." Even though this anime was ass, if you like ass, don't forget to subscribe.